Nate Diaz has just attacked Jake Paul and challenged him for a rematch pretty soon. Now, you might be thinking, didn't they already throw punches last August? Well, if you've been snoozing under a rock, let me catch you up. Apparently, Jake's been accused of juicing up on steroids and slipping some cash to the referee back then. When Nate caught wind of these rumors, he was absolutely certain that's exactly what went down. So he called out Jake, demanding a do-over with some actual fair play. But hold on, there's another juicy detail everyone's missing. Nate Diaz is back in the spotlight, and he's making sure everyone knows it. Fresh off a dominant victory over Jorge Masvidal, Diaz is feeling invincible. This win wasn't just another notch on his belt. It was a statement. But Nate Diaz isn't one to kick back and relax. Right after the fight, the boxing world was buzzing with rumors. People were talking about his previous match with Jake Paul, analyzing every second and debating the outcome. This chatter got under Diaz's skin. He knew there were unresolved issues, and his competitive fire was reignited. So in true Nate Diaz fashion, he decided to stir things up. Without a moment's hesitation, he publicly called out Jake Paul for a rematch.
That was already that fight. In a real fight, this fight's over, and we're sitting up here with the win. But we were participating in a boxing match, and it was a good time.
And this wasn't just any call-out. It was a bold, dramatic challenge that got everyone talking. Paul to prove who the real champ is. Their last match was already a spectacle. The build-up was intense, with both fighters throwing insults and the media hyping it up to epic levels. When they finally squared off, the atmosphere was electric. It was a fierce battle, with both Diaz and Paul giving it their all. Jake Paul might have won that fight, but it left a bad taste in the mouths of many Diaz fans. They felt their guy deserved another chance. And now, with Diaz himself demanding a rematch, the excitement is through the roof. But why is Nate Diaz so fired up for another round with Jake Paul? Well, there are two big reasons for that. First, the rumors about Jake Paul's alleged steroid use during their fight are wild. We're not talking about some random gossip. These claims are shaking the very foundation of Paul's reputation as a fighter. Right after their last bout, the rumor mill started churning. Pretty soon, whispers turned into full-blown speculation. Everyone started dropping the phrase performance-enhancing drugs like it was going out of style. A few insiders and anonymous sources even popped up claiming they saw some shady stuff in Paul's camp before the fight. These people, who are keeping their names under wraps to avoid backlash, talked about seeing vials and syringes that had no business being in a normal training regimen. Their stories paint a picture of a camp that might have been more focused on chemical boosts than actual hard work. As Diaz said,
in my whole career boxing with pro boxers on the highest level, as high as I could get, and done really well. And I've never fought in a pro fight, so I think I'll whip all these.
And just when you thought it couldn't get juicier, a leaked document hit the internet. This supposed smoking gun shows a transaction between Jake Paul's team and a well-known steroid supplier. The document, which has been making the rounds on social media and boxing forums, allegedly details a payment for banned substances. While it hasn't been verified yet, its mere existence has sent shockwaves through the boxing community. Once Joe Rogan said, "I don't think there's anything wrong with doing steroids to achieve that sort of physique for a movie. Either yeah, I do think there's something wrong with lying about it."
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing steroids to achieve that sort of physique for a movie either.
Yeah.
I do think there's something wrong with lying about it.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz's crew isn't taking these allegations lightly. They've been busy gathering evidence to support these claims, promising to spill all the tea before the big rematch. Members of Diaz's camp have been loud and proud about their mission to uncover the truth. They claim to have credible sources and solid proof to back up their accusations. This determination has cranked up the spotlight on Jake Paul, who's now under some serious heat. Even Dana White, the big boss of the UFC and a major voice in the fighting world, has spoke up. "I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids, so I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years."
I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years.
He's called out numerous fighters in the past and always pushes for clean competition. Now, he's saying that the allegations against Paul are particularly true and need a thorough investigation. Nate Diaz, never one to hold back, has thrown a massive bombshell, claiming that Jake Paul's team tried to bribe the referee during their highly publicized fight. And it gets even better with leaked audio files that have recently surfaced, supposedly featuring Jake Paul chatting with his secretary. These recordings have been making waves across social media and boxing forums. In these conversations, there are hints and implications that paint a picture of some behind-the-scenes shenanigans aimed at tipping the scales in Paul's favor. These leaked audio files are now the epicenter of the controversy. Experts are dissecting every word, scrutinizing the conversations for meaning. The recordings reportedly feature not just Paul, but also members of his inner circle, discussing how to ensure a victory. These discussions allegedly include references to specific individuals and tactics, suggesting a level of planning and forethought that goes beyond mere conjecture.
In my chest, I'd be trying to take people down in MMA, they smash my head and fuck me up, and I get tired and all kinds of shit. I'd be like, this is easy to fight.
What's particularly damning about these leaks is the alleged high-level strategizing. The recordings hint that efforts were made to ensure the referee would be sympathetic to Paul's camp, raising serious ethical questions. As these revelations unfold, the pressure on Jake Paul and his team is mounting. Paul has denied any wrongdoing, but the court of public opinion is heavily swayed by the steady stream of allegations and evidence. His camp is working overtime to control the narrative, claiming the audio files are taken out of context or are fabrications meant to discredit him. Yet the shadow of doubt lingers, casting a long and dark silhouette over his recent successes. Let's rewind to August 6, 2023. The fight was a high-octane event from the start. The atmosphere was electric, with fans from both camps filling the arena with deafening cheers. But as the rounds went on, several instances began to look fishy. Boxing analysts have pored over the footage, highlighting moments where the referee's calls seemed to favor Jake Paul. One of the most contentious points came in the third round. Nate Diaz, known for his relentless pressure, had Jake Paul on the ropes. Diaz unleashed a flurry of punches, cornering Paul and looking ready to land a knockout blow. Just as Diaz's assault was reaching its peak, referee Thomas King stepped in, separating the fighters. This break gave Paul a crucial moment to recover, disrupting Diaz's momentum. Many experts, including veteran analyst Teddy Atlas, called this intervention unnecessary and highly unusual. Fast forward to the seventh round and we get another head-scratcher. Diaz had the upper hand again. During a clinch, Diaz landed a textbook uppercut, and Paul seemed momentarily dazed. Instead of warning Paul for holding or breaking the clinch to continue the action, the referee stepped in to separate them. This decision disrupted Diaz's rhythm and favored Paul by giving him extra time to recover. ESPN analyst Max Kellerman argued that this move was highly questionable and disrupted the fight's flow. Beyond the referee's calls, there are whispers that Jake Paul's performance showed signs of steroid use. Throughout the fight, Paul exhibited sudden bursts of energy, especially in the later rounds, which seemed inconsistent with his usual stamina. Boxing experts noted that such bursts could be indicative of performance-enhancing drugs, which artificially boost energy and recovery times. As Diaz himself claimed,
easy to take down, easy to choke. Hey, nah, he did a good job, and he's a fucking athletic, strong dude, and he hits hard and fast, but it ain't nothing I ain't seen before, and I've trained with people I've trained with Mike.
Dr. Margaret Goodman, a noted expert in sports medicine and anti-doping, reviewed the fight footage and commented on these bursts of energy. While she noted it's not conclusive proof of steroid use, the pattern of fatigue followed by rapid recovery and powerful bursts is suspicious. Diaz's camp has been vocal about these observations, using them as part of their broader allegations against Paul. Footage analysis from multiple angles has also revealed inconsistencies in the referee's decisions throughout the fight. One particularly glaring moment occurred in the ninth round when Paul delivered a series of body shots that appeared to stray low. Diaz winced and gestured to the referee, but no warning was given to Paul. Instead, the referee admonished Diaz for not protecting himself. This decision sparked outrage among fans and analysts alike. Prominent sports commentator Stephen A. Smith called this a clear oversight, suggesting the referee's inaction was highly questionable. Moreover, slow-motion replays highlighted instances where Diaz's punches, which seemed to land cleanly, were not scored by the judges. Renowned boxing analyst Al Bernstein weighed in on these scoring inconsistencies, stating that while human error is always a factor, the number of missed calls and questionable decisions in this fight is unusually high. Bernstein's analysis aligns with the sentiments of many fans who believe the fight was unfairly tipped in Paul's favor. These analyses have intensified the debate over the sport's integrity. With such high stakes and public interest, The fight between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul is becoming a case study in the need for rigorous oversight and impartial officiating. The boxing community is calling for changes to ensure future matches are conducted with the highest standards of fairness, echoing broader calls for reform in sports governance. Now let's wrap this up. If you were in Nate's shoes, would you just sit quietly knowing you've been hit with the biggest fraud of your life? I'm guessing not. This rematch is totally justified. But hey, what do you think about all this drama? Share your thoughts in the comments below.